Today's topic, standing out in a saturated market, aka how to hit the ground running and making real money and happy clients. This is going to be a hustling 101 for DJs, if you will. All that coming up. Welcome back to another episode of The Clever DJ. A quick intro before I get into things. My name is Ilia, and I've been a DJ for just about 3 years now. This podcast is here to just document my journey from absolute beginner to pro and share what has worked for me ever since the beginning and what's still working for me today. And not just for me, for my colleagues as well. Ever since I started DJing, I always knew it was really important to have proper DJing skills, like reading a crowd, knowing how to transition, knowing your music, all that stuff. Of course, that's being a DJ. But I always focused on making myself unique in the way that I deliver the experience. And that's because I knew that I'm one of many, hundreds, thousands in my area who are DJing, probably hundreds who are really good, and thousands who are just like me, are just starting out and wanting to make a name for themselves. And I knew that I have to offer additional personalized services for people to feel that their experience is enhanced and that with me, they get something they don't get with anyone else. Now, while everything I'm going to discuss today is not the simplest to achieve, this is a really awesome industry. It pays a lot of money if you do well. And it's not going to be easy achieving, optimal results and getting lots of clients. But if you are willing to put the work into it, then I can tell you a few things that worked for me and worked for my friends. And some of them even were way more advanced than me. And they saw me doing it. And then they decided to do it too. And once they started doing it, they saw how it actually gave them an edge over others, even though they were already professional and they already had an amazing business, with lots of clients. It just gave them something they didn't have before and kind of refreshed their business. So I'm not saying that everything I'm going to mention here today is a must, but at the same time, if you want to get there quicker and you don't want to wait 2 years, 3 years before, you get consistent clients, these are some of the things you can do amongst many other things. These are just some things that I'm going to cover today in order to make a name for yourself, in order for you to be noticed among so many other DJs out there. So I have a set of tips here that worked for me and they still do. And some of these things were tried by other DJs whom I'm in touch with, and it worked for them as well. Again, it will take time to set this up in terms of planning it, knowing how to break it to the client, pricing it, maybe doing it for free in the beginning just to get a name for yourself or for a very low cost, kind of like baiting the client to go for you because you offer all these extra services. Whatever manner you choose to go about this, as long as you do it and you kind of personalize it to yourself the way it works for you, then it's going to work out, right? We can't really copy each other 100%. So my friends who actually tried some of the things that I mentioned here, they did it in a manner that they felt comfortable doing it, right? They have their own pitch, their own prices, their own methods of achieving all of these things that I'm going to talk about. Some of them are very obvious. Some of them a lot of DJs know about. Some of them people know about, but they don't really do because they don't think it's going to work. They thought about it, but they're like, you know what? Probably just busy work. And it's better to just, DJ regularly and hope to get more clients. But I'm telling you, this stuff works. And I'll tell you why I know it works. I started DJing about 3 years ago. I had a break of about a year of not doing any gigs because I was focusing on the podcast and I was doing a few other things. Every time I jumped back into things, especially in the beginning when I was trying to get my own clients, I was doing all of this and it was amazing how easy it was for me to beat my competition. And I'm not talking about other beginners. I'm talking about people who already had a year, 2, 3, 5, 10 years over me. And sure, it also requires to be a good salesperson and know how to market yourself. I mean, some people don't have that skill. I have that skill, and some people's skill is even better than mine. But it's all kind of a balance. It comes together. So you got to focus on what you do best and find a way to make this happen, everything that I'm going to list on here. So I have a list here, and I'm going to start reading from it, and we'll have a discussion about each point. Number 1 is offering to share event videos and photos. Now, before I even get into this, I recommend it to everyone who is not recording their gigs. Record your gigs. Now, there's one more thing I got to speak about before we get into this point. Make sure that you tell your client you're going to record the gig. It's extremely important because while probably 8 or 9 out of 10 times, nobody's going to care. Maybe in your case, it's 10 out of 10 times. In my case, it's also 10 out of 10 times. Nobody cared. Nobody ever minded that I'm doing this, right? But you'll see why it's important later because you're going to do something with that footage, not just keep it for yourself. And if you do all those things, they will kind of wonder, why didn't you tell me? Or, they might say it, they might not. But it's better to tell them, all right? That's the foundation of everything. Tell them that you're going to record it. And now, this is where I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly how to do it. You need to put on your big boy pants and just know how to sell. Feel, you gotta speak in a confident manner to them. Don't say something like, is it okay if I record your entire wedding for myself to have for later? Obviously, they're probably not going to say yes because it sounds really creepy. And also, no matter how you say it, if it's something that's not confident, if you say it in a non-confident manner, they're probably not going to want to do this. Like psychologically, the first thing they'll think is no. So what I do is, and I even have a clause in my contract that they're going to be recorded. If they said no, which never happened before, I'm not going to include that clause. And I'm still going to record the gig, but I'm going to record just myself because I like to record myself and make sure that, I have something like a reference of the gig. If anything cool happened for my promotion or anything like that. Again, it's just not realistic for me to think about a situation where I was told not to record it. So I'm just trying to think what I would do. But yeah, I'd probably just record myself and that's it. So recording the gig is going to really help you capture all of these special moments from the event, whether it's a live performance or the crowd's reaction if you did something cool or someone else did something cool, and just behind the scene moments, right? Maybe yourself DJing or the bride and groom doing something funny in the background, or in a birthday or a house party, something else funny that happened and nobody else noticed it, but they wouldn't mind sharing it. All of those moments can be recorded. Now, the best way to do that is to get an assistant. Some people even hire. I know of one DJ who hires a professional photographer. She's his friend, but he pays her to come to gigs, and she has a video camera, a photo camera. Well, she uses a DSLR, right? And she records really special moments from the gig, and then edits it together, and he uses it as promotional material for himself, for the clients, for whatever it may be. So what I do personally, I bring an assistant. I obviously pay my assistant, but it's not going to be as much as paying a professional videographer or photographer. And I'll get there as well. But right now, I have a couple assistants. They're great with their camera. I got them a gimbal. I got them, everything they need in order to get pretty cool footage. Now, you'll think, well, how good is that going to be? Trust me, even if you record something with your phone and, it's just okay, they'll still appreciate it because of what I'm about to say, in the next few points. This is all going to come together. Now, I record myself and then I have my assistant. If my assistant doesn't come with me, I have a tripod and I have my camera, my phone, and I just find moments in between to record. I might even get off my out of my DJ booth and get on the dance floor and just party with them, right? And it depends on the client. Sometimes you can't do that. They will never appreciate it, right? But some of them, you build that rapport with them that they want that from you, right? And that's what I do. That's what my mentor actually noticed. He said, wow, you're really good with the clients. You're really good with the people. They always want to party with you, dance with you, sing with you, right? And I'm just good at that. So that's what works for me. So find some way to record highlights from the event is what I'm saying. So I recommend to get a camera that records the whole event, get the main part of the venue or wherever you are, that also captures you and your deck and everything. And and then be mindful that you're being recorded. So don't, do or say anything that you wouldn't want to be on the recording, because again, we're going to use all this footage later, potentially. All right, we'll get there. Now, one thing you can do with those videos and those photos and that footage you get is to create social media content. So obviously for yourself and for the client. Now, if it's a wedding, likely you're not going to do anything like that. This is mostly for corporate gigs or like private events that are not weddings or wakes or something else that's inappropriate, because you're not going to promote a wedding, right? But it's great footage for certain companies, especially if it's not a very large company and they need the promotion. This is really good for them to have that, because you just created something for them. And you'll be surprised how many clients hire you in industries where you think they'll know what to do and how to create a video, promotional material, and they don't know anything about it. They're not technological. So when you take, let's say, a 20-minute video and you cut it out nicely, you edit it nicely, and you create, let's say, 4 or 5 videos out of that. Each of them is like 30 seconds long or a minute long, and you show them those videos, they're going to be mesmerized. They're going to say, wow, you're not just a DJ. You just created all this footage for us. And of course, you're creating work for yourself. I'm not disputing that. But now you got them booking you for the next gig. And that's what happened to me. And I didn't mind doing that. I don't have thousands of clients. I don't have hundreds of clients, right? I have consistent clients. I started out. I'm doing well now. My business is picking up. And what happens is, as you grow, you hire people. You create a team. Now, if you're just a DJ and you're an amazing DJ and you don't care to do all this extra stuff, then okay, then this is not for you. But it worked for me, and I know it works for others. And that's what this episode is all about. You're going to create whatever you need. You're going to put in place whatever's necessary for this to work out. So in the beginning, you do it yourself. You start simple. Then you get a nicer camera. You learn how to use your phone better. You get a gimbal. You learn how to DJ and also step away from the deck for like 30 seconds to get another video. You got to hustle. This is pretty much a hustling guide, and you need to find a way to make it all happen. And I wouldn't be talking about it if this wasn't working, right? This is the reason why I'm talking about this, is because I decided to share my secrets. And again, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, you'll say, well, I know about this. I mean, obviously you'll record your gig, and obviously you'll maybe offer something to the client. But I noticed that a lot of people don't do it. I don't know if they don't know about it or it's just too much work for them. But you have no idea how many gigs this is getting me and how much success this is bringing, because I'm making someone happy and giving them full value for what they paid me. And at the same time, I love editing. I love taking videos, photos. This is just another hobby of mine. So it's great for me. I'm enjoying myself. So let's say you took a few videos and you shared it with your client who has some sort of company, and next year they're going to have the same event. So they're going to share that. They're going to use that video. They're going to see you on that video. If they don't use the one where you are DJing and they have like a different view, fine. Point is, now they can use that video and recycle it every year to promote an event, or just for them to have for their memories, right? And likely they're gonna see you on those videos because you're gonna give them a few where you are also in the footage, and they're probably gonna hire you again. You're just gonna become the go-to person for that gig or for that company, and it works. It works. And you know what? It is more work for you because you're not just DJing. Now you're also taking videos and photos, and you're thinking about so many other things other than just, the music. And especially for a beginner, this is so much work. So you're not going to do this from your first gig, right? But keep that in mind. Once you're able to control the music and everything, and you get a good grasp of the crowd, and you feel like you're confident enough to start taking footage, then do that. If you're still not comfortable, I said it before, bring an assistant, right? Pay them something to make them feel good. Maybe they just want to learn how to DJ, right? A lot of people will come with you for free. Now, I did say you don't have to listen to me, but don't make people work for free for too long, all right? They'll appreciate you bringing them with you and showing them how everything works behind the scene and getting the free meal and, the party and the free drinks and everything. But after 5-10 gigs, they'll probably wonder, this was fun, but you're getting value from me. Can I get something for it, right? So you make $1,000 per gig, $2,000 per gig. Give them 10%, right? Gas money, money for their time, for the day. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And one more thing you can do, you can actually tag your clients in those videos. If they're okay with it, you can tag them. And now that creates promotion for them on your page and other pages. And also it promotes you because anyone who's going to see that is going to see that you were the one DJing that event. So definitely win-win for everyone. And once again, only when it actually makes sense to do that, right? This is not going to be very logical for every gig. But I had plenty of gigs where I could do this, and it was great for everyone. Number 3, customized audio clips or event recaps. You can create personalized audio clips or remixes for clients, especially if they have a favorite song or a moment from the event. For example, if there are some songs which you transition a certain way and they really enjoyed it, and they'll come to you and say, wow, that was an amazing transition, or that these are their favorite songs. All you got to do, and I did that before, I come home after the gig, if I'm still, all like hyper from the gig and I'm not tired yet and I don't want to go to sleep yet, then I'll get on the computer. I know how to use music production software, so that's what I do. Again, another skill you'll have to learn, but it's so easy. A couple videos, get FL Studio, Ableton, Audacity. I don't know how well it will work in Audacity, but it's so easy to put 2 tracks side by side and merge them exactly where they should be transitioned. It's actually easier than DJing because you have all the time in the world to find that spot and then edit exactly how it's going to transition. It's super simple. You know what? I should actually upload that. I should upload a guide on how to do that. It's so easy. Once I show you, you'll be doing that all the time because people will really appreciate it. So I come home and I create, let's say, 3 transitions for them for tracks they really like. And then I put it all together, kind of like a mixtape. And then I will send it to them via email, and I'll say, hey, I know you really like those songs, and you liked how I transitioned them, and I saw you were really vibing to it with everyone. Here you go. You can listen to that in your car or anywhere you go. And that's it. Now, they have something that they couldn't download anywhere. It was a one-time experience, and if you hadn't sent that file to them, they would never have it. So now you gave them something, likely for free, right? I wouldn't charge them for that. That's more like to get them to call me again next time and to keep in touch with me throughout the year. So little things like that really, really help. And how long did it take me? 10, 20 minutes? It's worth it. And it's fun. Again, I do it because I love it. I'm not doing this just for the money. I do it because I enjoy every moment of it. I love music. I love taking videos. I love taking photos. I love being on the mic. I love DJing. So all of this is not busy work for me. I enjoy it, especially with the business it's bringing me, right? It's bringing me consistent business, and I'm not drowning in clients yet, but it's getting there. I'm doing much better. And a lot of these tips are why I'm doing so much better. You can also offer them a short recap mix of the night that includes key songs or just key moments from the event that highlight specific parts that you know they're going to like. And it can be pretty much like a tailored memento, something that is going to be with them forever. And it can be marketed as a thank you gift, post-event, or an additional paid service. It really depends how you want to go about it. Again, if you're an absolute beginner, this will be a great bonus to give them, right? We'll talk about it later, about actually offering that as a service. But for now, this is more like, hey, this is how you can stand out from the competition and do a bit extra work, but get more clients, retain them, etc. So the first one that I suggested in this point was taking a couple songs that they love, 2, 3, 4 songs, and creating and transitioning them those songs for them. By the way, I should have said that earlier. If you don't know how to use music production software, there is a record button in Serato, in Rekordbox. You just create the mix for them, record it, and send it to them. So that's another thing. I thought, I probably should have said it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I like doing that with the music production software because I just create more than just a transition. I remake it. I create my own track out of it, pretty much. But yeah, you could also do it like that. Both ways work. And clearly they liked it with you DJing it, so it's going to be pretty much identical if you do it by recording it from Serato or Rekordbox. So that is the first thing you're going to do. You can give them just 3 or 4 files of 2, 3 song transitions that they really liked from the event. And then the second thing is give them a longer file with more of these moments from the gig. And you know where that file comes from? That comes from the recording you have already from the event because you recorded your entire set. And I'm not talking about the video. I'm talking about recording your actual set within Serato, which is why I always record my sets. And if I can see that everyone went wild during a certain part, then I'm going to write down on my phone, I'm going to 29 minutes, 45 seconds. 45 minutes, 26 seconds. And I'm going to take those moments and create like a little mixtape out of it. It's going to be a longer one, right? And that's something else you can send them. Or you can put it, on a USB drive, but we'll get to that later. So number 4, branded event materials. You can create a personalized playlist post-event with the event's logo or the couple's name and their venue and the date if it's a wedding. And it's very simple to do that. And you can upload that to YouTube privately or publicly, depends on the client. And now they have that. They have that video that usually, let's say, a videographer would create for them. But it's from your own point of view, from the DJ's point of view, which is something really cool. It's very different. A lot of people told me, oh, you know what? We hired a videographer, but we're so happy you gave us this, like your own video. It's so different. It's like an action view of everything, right? From your point of view. And it's just an additional material for them. Why wouldn't they like it, right? So you can do that for them. They can use that for promotional material, for, again, keepsake, like their own memory. Honestly, in any way, it's a win-win. Again, you can also offer custom lighting effects that will match the theme. For example, if their theme is purple and gold, what I do is, and that's very important. If you don't have any lights, like as a DJ, that's, in my opinion, a problem. You should definitely have lights. Every person who called me said, "Do you have lights? Are we gonna have to pay for the lights?" So in the beginning, it was just whatever lights I had. I said yes, it comes with a package, with a basic package, and that's the only package I had. Right? I didn't have the basic package, the whatever, like silver, gold package. I couldn't do that in the beginning. I took whatever gigs I could take. I tried to get as much money out of it, and I gave them everything I had. Right? Once I had some promotional material, once I had some experience, I started inflating the price a little bit because I had reason to do that, right? I could stand behind that price. But definitely get some par lights, those up lights. Put them around the venue, around the whatever location where you're DJing, if they're gonna have, and that's not even like an extra. That's, I believe every DJ should have it, but I added it to the list because I saw so many DJs who don't have that. Beginners, obviously, specifically. Get those lights, put them around the venue. If they have purple and gold, for example, then make them either like cyan or purple, something that will accent it, something that will make it look really like make the event look more prestigious with the lights. It looks so much nicer. And then obviously get some spotlights. There's this light bar on Amazon, super cheap. Again, something else I should probably post on the website, but you can get that, set it kind of offset from your booth, and aim it at the dance floor, and the difference before and after is incredible. It makes everything look so much more professional, so much nicer. And in the reviews that I get after the event, they actually speak about the lighting. The lighting was amazing. They speak about the DJing, but they also mentioned the lighting was great. Thank you for making our venue look so much better. They're noticing it. It's actually important. So that, and now more specifically, and as a beginner, I'm not saying you have to get it right away. It's not cheap, and it's more time to set something up. But get a Monogram Gobo projector. So it's pretty much a light that has a little template, like a metal template or something in front of it, which projects like some sort of like logo or some sort of shape. And you can obviously also project the couple's name, the date, a congratulations message, anything you want. And that makes things so much nicer for the video, for the photos. It makes things look more official. A lot of clients actually like that. And that's something you can upsell. It's something you can make more money from. But again, in the beginning, if it helps you get a gig, get the gig. So I would definitely recommend doing both of those things. Start from the lights. Definitely don't skip that. You have to have it from the start. You don't have to get the best ones, and you don't have to get too many, but get at least a handful and get some light bar, something. I'll tell you how I started. So what I did was I had only 2 of those par lights, those up lights. I had only 2 of them. I got almost the cheapest ones, but they were still good enough. I didn't go for the absolute cheapest. And I know some pros even use them because they have lots of them, and then they have the more expensive ones for other things. But I got them, and I just put those 2 in the most obvious spot, maybe at the entrance, wherever people are coming from. And it wasn't for weddings. I wasn't doing weddings yet. Maybe beside my DJ booth, right? Because a lot of people were going to take videos of me in those like private events, like parties, like house parties and stuff like that. And they were all going to be facing towards me where the videos are going to be taken in the dance floor. And then I thought, okay, 2 is really too little. So I got 4 more. And then now I have a lot more than that because I'm covering the entire venue. But I had 6. Now I can, get a much larger. I can cover a much larger area, and I would go, maybe every 10 feet or every 6 feet, I would put a light on either side of the venue or location where I was, and then I decided to take 4 of those lights and put them on a T-bar. So a bar that has a tripod and another line across. And this way I would have like a light bar and a much cheaper one than, the ones you get that already come set up and all the cables are within the housing or whatever, right? And I did it myself, and it was like 20 to 30 minutes to set it up every time. And I told myself, you know what, next time I get a big gig, I'm going to buy that light bar. And then I got a gig that required more lighting. So I took some of the money and bought that special light bar that did not require me using power strips and finding a way to kind of wrap the cables around the bar. It was so much work to make it look nice. But, as a beginner, you have to find a way to make it look nice, but also save money, because when you only get 1 gig a month or 1 gig every 2 months, it's hard to afford all these things. especially where you already spent so much money on all of this gear and maybe a course and the music and everything else, right? And then now where I have several gigs a month, I can easily take some of that money and say, hey, you know what? It's time to get this or it's time to get that. And I invest back in the business. Now it's easier, but I remember what it was like when I just started on the first year. Yeah, it was hard to part with that money and wonder, will I really ever use this piece of equipment that I just purchased? But I had to believe in myself and say, you know what? You'll get more clients. Go and get that. It's worth it. But you got to know where to stop. Don't go and get moving heads like lights that cost $1,500 a piece or $2,000 a piece, because some things you have to only get if the gig demands it. And you also need to know if you are going to actually be able to set it up, right? If you don't have the knowledge on how to set it up, make sure you have sufficient time to actually learn how to use it. It's not easy setting up those lights, some of those lights. It's a lot of work. I've seen how much work it takes sometimes to set up those lights, especially like when you have to program them and everything. Yeah, so all of these touches that you add to the event can really create a lasting impression on the client. And it will really show them that you care about their event and you treat it as your own, because you're really trying to bring out all of the potential of the event, of the venue, and you're really trying to make it the best it can be. You're not just coming there to DJ, do your part, and go home and never talk to them again. And they will know, they'll notice it. And even if they didn't know that you could do more for them, if you do more for them, they'll be so much more impressed. So there's just no way this will work against you. Absolutely no way. Exercise common sense, logic. Is this tip appropriate for this type of gig? Or I want to use this tip for this gig, but I am not very good at selling yet. So let me become good at selling. So practice. Speak to yourself. Speak to a friend. Try to sell it before you actually go and speak to the client. But all of this stuff works. It's 100% guaranteed it works if you know how to do it. So I'm giving you the tips, and hopefully you can actually make it work for yourself, because I know this works and I know it's going to help you. Number 5, live streaming and instant content sharing. That's something that I didn't get to do too much of, but I did it a few times and people really appreciated it. I'll tell you where I did it. I did it at a Sweet 16 where they had a huge family from Italy and a lot of people couldn't come because most of the time people wouldn't just travel for a Sweet 16. But it was a big birthday. It's a very long story why it was so important for everyone to show up. It was just a lot of people came from overseas, but not everyone could. And that was one event. There were 2 weddings, and I think there was something else. Yes, I think there was one more. I forget what it was right now, but there were like 3 or 4 instances where I did this. I live streamed the entire event, and I created a link. I gave it to the clients, and I told them, listen, for those who can't attend your event and still want to be able to experience it, here's a link. They can see it live. And also, it's going to be recorded, so if they want to download it later, you can give them the permission to download it. So you have the link, you have the password, you can decide who gets to download it and who doesn't. So one link is for viewing, one link is for downloading. They were mesmerized that you could even do this. They had no idea that was even possible, right? It was like 2023, and they didn't know you could do something like that. So don't assume that people will know that all of this stuff is possible. Lots of these clients have no idea when it comes to technology. So I really recommend offering that, especially in weddings, especially when you know they have a large family overseas and they can't make it to the wedding. It's just such an amazing bonus, such an amazing way to still celebrate with people whom they love and couldn't make it to the main event. Number 6, event souvenirs and personalized merch. Now, this is going to be definitely a part of a premium package because it's going to cost you money. Some of it is cheaper, but most of it is not going to be cheap. So if you're going to do it, That's where you're going to draw the line. That's where I would tell you, don't do this just to get a gig. This is going to be too expensive, too much work, too much money. And just like you're really, at this point, really lowering from your own value if you're going to do this. So only do this if they agree to pay for it kind of upfront. So let's say if you were going to charge them $1,500 for the wedding or whatever event they have, then you're going to charge them $1,750 or $1,800 or $2,000, and then you're going to offer this. So it can be custom branded merch like USB sticks with your DJ name or your face on it, whatever, however you think people will remember you when they look at it, right? So usually it's going to be your DJ name or your DJ business name, and it's going to have all the music from the event. So either it's just like a kind of like a Spotify playlist for them to listen to, or you're actually going to include the recording of your set on there, which you'll have to edit because they might not want to have the dinner music on there. So you're gonna take the best part of that night and put it on there, like an hour or 2 hours of dance floor, right? And that's gonna be on that USB stick. If you can get the speeches and stuff like that recorded as well, you can put it on there as well. But I think just putting, so far for me, just putting the music on there was enough. That's one thing I started doing as a gift. I never charged for it. And, it helped me kind of create a more of a name for myself and get return business, return clients. And then later I started charging for it. Later I would not offer it for free anymore, right? So now I don't offer it for free, but that's how it started. And I actually had a couple of clients who were wondering, hey, you used to give us those USBs at the end of every gig. So, I broke it to them in a way that it was respectful. And I told them, yes, that's something I used to offer for free, but now it's part of a premium package. And I was like, you know what? For this year, I'll do it for you because you didn't know. I'll give it to you. Let's say if we didn't speak about it, or if somehow they didn't order it, but now they want it, I'm not going to lose my business over a USB stick, right? Like over a USB drive and like 15, 30, 45 minutes of work putting something on it. So if it's a return client, I've had several gigs with them, I'll do it for them anyway. But then for next time, they'll know that's going to cost money. So that's part of sales. You can't just be, like, nope, that costs money now. That's too bad. I'm not giving it to you. You got to know how to speak to people who are already your clients, people who are brand new, people who are, just trying to save at every point, and you really need to come towards them, like, and aid them a little bit with something, maybe give them a bit of a discount. Just try to help everyone in order to help yourself, right? Exercise common sense. The more expensive stuff would be, and I actually ordered that from Amazon or from other cheaper places, but it takes longer to come online, when you order it. And that would be, let's say, light up shirts with like with a sound spectrum, and it lights up to the sound of the music. And different, neon light bracelets and just a bunch of stuff. And I would have a table, like a merch table, where I would just put all these for people to take. And that's it. I'm not manning that table because all of that stuff was already paid for. I already got $250, $500 on top of everything to get that stuff put there. And again, there are some other things you can do to make extra money. For example, that's one thing. You know what? I'll give you like an extra point, number 7. Let me see if I have anything else here. And number 6 before I move to number 7. No, I don't. So, okay, there we go. Number 7. I'll give you an extra point. Did you know that you can actually make connections with the people who you work with? So you do a wedding or any other gig where there's photographers, videographers, a sax player, a singer, a violinist. Take their contact. Share your contact. You have business cards, right? They're not just for the guests in the event. You actually probably get more business from the professionals you work with, the other contractors, the videographer, photographer, violinist, sax player, anyone there who is also working. always make a good impression in front of the coordinator, the event planners. They have a long reach in these industries, and you want to keep them happy. They'll remember you, and I remember them. So yeah, I hear someone's name. Oh, I worked with her before, or I worked with him before. So make sure that you share contacts and that you are helping them, because these people will appreciate it and they'll remember you and they'll offer you gigs, and you offer them gigs, because you're always doing weddings, birthdays. Like, you'll need each other at some point, right? So, for example, I'll give you an example. A videographer came a little late, had to set up super quickly at a wedding, and he had to have me connect him to my speaker, to my mixer and everything. And I did it so quickly for him. And I noticed that when he came in, that I knew right away that he will need that, right? So I approached him. I said, you probably need to connect to my mixer, right? You need sound. And he was so relieved that I already was 2 steps ahead, and I was helping him with whatever he needed. Every time there was something, because now he's like 15 minutes behind, 20 minutes behind, so he's already stressed out. So I'm helping him catch up. I tell him, hey, listen, we're going to have speeches. Hey, listen, they're going to do their first dance. So I always prepare them for something that's going to happen. A lot of DJs just go for it. Just, they don't think about the photographer, the videographer. They assume that they're always, on the ready, waiting for something to happen. They might be sitting eating. They might be setting something up, setting lights, setting sensors. There's so much gear they have to handle. And they appreciate it. So I had a sax player call me not too long ago, this year. And he said, hey, Ilia, I have a wedding for you. They're looking for a DJ. I already told them that I'm going to speak to you. It's a family friend. Do you want the gig? It's on this and this date. Like, it's on this date at this location. And luckily I was available. And look at that. Now I have a new branch. Like, now I have a new kind of set of clients. Now, this guy's recommending me. He's a professional in this industry as well. And then I have all these new clients that are all these new potential clients from this gig. And I got this gig. That's amazing. And I got it because I was really cool with him and I did a good job. So it's important to do that. Now, what I want to finish this with is you can actually create a team. And that's what I'm working on now. I'm doing that now. I've had a couple of these situations where I had like a team for a wedding or some event that required the people I'm talking about, a sax player, a videographer, a photographer, a photo booth, right? I'm still in the process of creating it and creating a team where if, let's say, one person's not available, I have another one. But so far, I have a few people I can select from, and I already used them a couple of times, and it made me more income, and it saved the client a lot of time. So what I'm talking about is the client, let's say, is looking for a photo booth, for a videographer, a photographer, a violinist, a sax player, a singer, this, that, lights, fireworks, or, anything that they're looking for. Let's say you have those contacts. Now, you're going to charge a small premium because you have a database of people that are going to be great for the job. And instead of, let's say, telling them, hey, go for this client, they're looking for that, give them a call. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to set up a team and I'm going to come with them. So it's like they're coming with you, like your entourage. And the client is going to pay you an extra $200, $500, $700 to bring those people with you to pretty much create that experience for them, because now they don't have to call anyone. They don't have to worry about it. You're going to be the one mitigating. You're going to be the one who's the middleman and bringing all of those people to the gig. Of course, you're going to give them the client's contact, and the client's going to discuss stuff with them. But point is, they're going to pay you and you're going to pay them. And there's other ways to go about it. This is how it works for me. Now you made so much more money and you save the client so much more time. And they know how it is. They know that if they find it themselves, it's going to be cheaper, but they don't have the time to think about it. They have a wedding to prepare for, right? They have so many things to plan. They don't care dropping another $500 and making sure that you bring them the absolute perfect people for the job, and that you're gonna handle everything, right? You're not just calling someone and telling them, hey, speak to this client. You're handling a lot more than that, but it's worth it for them. So all of these points here are some of the things I did over the last few years, ever since I started DJing myself, in order to have an edge in this industry. It's so competitive. It's so saturated. There's so many people doing that. I found ways to become different in a good way, to be unique in a way that helps me stand out in this industry and win over a client, and to bring me pretty much return clients. And all of that stuff really helped me. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's time to share it, because I honestly really want to help you guys. All of you who are just starting out and, getting one gig every couple months or 1 or 2 gigs a year. I was there, right? That was my first year. And then it just skyrocketed for me. It was actually the beginning of my first year. And then I started doing all these things, and then it just elevated, right? And then I took not a full year, but I took quite a few months off from gigging, and then I continued with the same method, and it still works. Yes, it's more work. Yes, it's going to require you to learn new skills, but isn't this what it's all about? So if you actually do this because you love it, if you actually do this because you care about the clients and you love the music and you love gigging, going to gigs and making good money, all of these tips work. It's just that you need to know when to approach clients about some of these tips, how to sell them. And it's going to be the journey that you have to take as a beginner. We all have different skills. For me, I was always good when it came to sales, dealing with people, marketing. So that's why I took this approach with my DJing, because I had to find something else that will help me stand out. And I took one of my skills and I kind of mixed it together with something that I wanted to do, right? So now I'm sharing it with you. And if there's anything that you don't know how to do and you want some extra advice and you want to discuss something, you're more than welcome reaching out with through the email that's under every episode on YouTube, any platform you're on, Spotify, Apple Music. In the description, there's an email. You can send us an email, send me an email, and I will respond as quickly as possible with as much detail as possible, because I believe that in this industry, there's a lot of work for everyone, and helping each other is not gonna, take away work from you. We're all in this together, and I really believe that if we help each other, it's gonna be even that much better for all of us. Definitely reach out and let me know if there's anything you think I can help you with, whether it's questions you have, stuff maybe that I didn't cover on this podcast yet, or things that we covered in the past, and stuff that you probably want to discuss, to understand better. Or, for example, any of the tips from today, if it's too complicated for you and you don't know how to approach it, because today was a bit of a different episode. These were a bit of more advanced tips, but they definitely work. And if you need some help incorporating this into your business, then I can definitely help you with that. So just send an email, get in touch, and I'll do my best to be there for you guys. So thank you very much for joining another episode of The Clever DJ. I'll see you next week. Stay clever.